Hello guys, I hope you guys are fine. In this video we're going to talk about generic programming in C++. Generic programming is a very important concept in C++. The roots of generic programming lies in the following concept. Now, if I want to find out whether an integer exists or not from a list of integers, I would have to write a separate piece of code, or I would write a separate function. If I have to find out whether a double value exists in a list of doubles, I would have to write a separate piece of code or a separate function. Now the process remains same if I'm using linear search, that is, I'm comparing whether the value exists or not with every other element in the list. This linear search method remains the same in case of a list of doubles as well. So if I'm writing two functions, I'm doing unnecessary work. This is where generic programming comes to our rescue. Let's look at some of the key points of generic programming. Generic programming can be implemented with the help of class templates and function templates. So generic programming simply means that you write your code once without worrying about the data types, and then whatever data type I have, the same piece of code would work. How to implement it, we would see shortly. Generic programming also helps in code reusability. It helps me avoid writing overloaded function. So the method remains same. The only thing that changes is the data type. I would make use of a keyword called template. Let's look at a very simple function, a template function. We are going to look about function templates first, which allows me to swap two numbers. Now, swapping two numbers means if I have a variable a and a variable b, swapping means I am assigning the value of b to variable a and the value of a to variable b. Now this process remains same whether I am swapping two integers, or I'm swapping two characters, or I'm swapping two double variables. So let's look at how we are going to write down a program. So my code would be called as function template.cpp. So very simple program. All I would do is write down a function template. So let's start off. Hash include iostream using the standard namespace. I will have a main function. I'm going to keep the main function empty just for now. Now, this is how you write down a function template. You begin with a keyword called template. In the angular brackets, you write down class T. Now, in function templates, the data type is passed as a parameter. So T refers to the parameter. There would be no brackets here. I would start defining the function as a normal function inside, or under it rather. My function would be called swap, all caps, because I don't want it to interfere with the inbuilt function swap. I will pass it a reference to a data type T, a reference to a data type P. I will declare a variable of type T called T, and I'll give it a value A. A gets the value of B and B gets the value of T. What we are going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and use an integer variable A. I'm giving it a value 10. Integer variable B, I'm giving it a value 20. Let's put down values. Let's print down values before swapping. So before swapping, I will go ahead and I will print the value of A and I will print the value of B. Let's change the line. Let's call the swap function A, B. Let's print out the values again, and this time I would write down after swapping. Let's try to use the same function with the double variables, not subble but double. So double, C gets a value of 20.20 and D gets a value of 10.10. Let me simply go ahead and repeat this set of statements. Before swapping, I would like to print the value of C. I would like to print the value of D. I like to call the swap function with value C and D. And after swapping, I would like to print the value of C and I would like to print the value of D. Okay, so let's quickly code this out. G++ function template.cpp. Got lucky, no errors there. Let's run it. So before swapping, the value of A is 10, which is printed in this line here. B is 20, printed here. After swapping, A turns out to be 20 and this turns out to be 10. Okay, So let's look at the other group of cout statements. Before swapping, the value of C is 20.2, D is 10.10. After swapping, 10.10 and 20.20. Now ideally I would have ended up writing two functions, swap1 and swap2, one to swap the integer values and the second to swap the double values. But with the help of this function template, I'm just writing one piece of code here, and this works both for integers as well as for doubles. So what happens is, when I'm going ahead and calling this function here, the type of a and b integer that gets passed as a parameter, I need to use a reference variable, because remember, if I don't use a reference variable, it will be just call by value, and in call by value any change you make inside the function is not available outside of it, so I have to use a reference variable. Second time when I call, the value of c and d is double, so this t is passed, the double is passed as, or the data type is passed as a parameter. So this is a function template in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video, you found it educational. Thank you, be safe, goodbye.